The Studio Breach, a radio play, by John Zerga Jr. The heavy metal prophet, the comedy is the sugar. The truth is the medicine. Sound. Static, old radio tuning, fragments of broadcasts, a preacher, a salesman, a politician, overlapping into chaos. Announcer, VO, calm, NPR style, over the chaos. The following program contains satire. All persons depicted are fictional composites for purposes of commentary. Any resemblance to actual media personalities, former presidents, talk show hosts, British conspiracy theorists, rock legends, or Brooklyn restaurateurs is entirely intentional but legally protected. Beat. The management reminds you, we're all in the game. Beat. Some of us just play it quieter. Sound. The chaos resolves into a single, clear tone. Then, smash to air raid sirens. Cash registers, heavy metal guitar, wolves howling, audio redlining, movement 1, the product cathedral. Sound. The Infowars studio. Equipment humming, the faint sound of a producer weeping in the background. Air raid sirens, cash registers opening, heavy metal guitar riffs. The audio quality is intentionally degraded, compressed, redlining, like a broadcast from the edge of sanity. Announcer, VO, machine gun delivery, barely breathing. Broadcasting live from the last free bunker in the Western Hemisphere, transmitting on frequencies the government can't trace because we made them up, no longer legally permitted to use the word news, but spiritually entitled to the word truth. The man who arm wrestled a CIA asset in a Denny's parking lot and won. The voice that makes globalists wake up in cold sweats, the Humanelli Shear. Coughing, losing it, Alex. Deep breath, Jones. Sound. A fist hitting a table. Glass breaking, something heavy falling. The unmistakable sound of a man who has been awake for 37 hours. Alex Jones. Full volume from the first syllable. This is not a man who warms up. They don't want you to hear this. Sound. Papers rustling frantically. The literal Christian devil has formed a limited liability partnership with the committee. You know the one. They meet in Geneva, or Davos, or a submarine that moves. They have a spreadsheet of humanity, folks. Your name is on it. My name is on it. The only names not on it are the names of the people who made the spreadsheet, and they don't have names anymore, they have numbers. They're putting microchips in your toothpaste. I have the documents. They're redacted, but if you hold them up to a UV light, tilt your head 37 degrees to the left, and squint with your non-dominant eye. Demonstrating, grunting, you can clearly see the words, project, soften humanity. The estrogen is in the water. The estrogen is in the AIR. I went down to the river this morning. Building. There were catfish down there wearing lipstick. Asking for directions to a brunch spot. One of them knew about mimosas. Apocalyptic. Fish don't know about mimosas unless someone taught them. Sound. Jones takes a massive, wheezing breath. The sound of a man who has seen too much and sold even more. Jones. Shifting. Still intense, but now with purpose. It's over. The grid is failing. Society is collapsing. Your neighbor is a pod person and doesn't even know it yet. But we, fist on table, are not going to lie down and die. We are going to buy our way to survival. Sound. Heavy thuds. Products being slammed onto the desk. Each one sounds like a weapon. Folks, I'm going deep into the vault today. I am at the limit. My lawyers are in the lobby. They look like vultures in three-piece suits. I can hear them chewing the drywall. The walls are getting shorter. I need to move product. And Gene says, Reverend pause, Gene Simmons, my mentor, the man who taught me everything I know about converting human fear into recurring revenue. Back to intensity, Gene says, always be closing. So I'm closing. Sound. The opening bass line of Mr. Big Stuff by Gene Knight fades in. Cheesy, late-night infomercial energy. The tonal shift is jarring and intentional. Jones. Complete vocal transformation. Soft, intimate. The late-night infomercial voice. A seduction. Gentleman. Long pause. Are you adequate? Even longer pause. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help. The music swells slightly underneath. The globalists want you shriveled. They want you weak. They want you looking at yourself in the mirror and feeling like a dried apricot at a truck stop salad bar. They have engineered your inadequacy. The water, the air, the plastic, all of it, designed to make the American male feel insufficient. It's not your fault. It's chemical warfare against your manhood. But what if I told you? Pause for effect. There was a cream. Sound. A jar being placed on a surface. Heavy. Expensive. The sound of salvation in a container. Jones. Holding up the jar, audible reverence. Mr. Big stuff. Topical masculinity enhancement. Apply directly to the affected area. Building momentum. We went to Chernobyl. Illegally, I might add. We bribed border guards. We crossed into the exclusion zone under cover of darkness. We found the reactor core, still glowing, still angry, and we harvested the moss. The glowing moss. Is it radioactive? Conceding. The Geiger counter says yes. Triumphant. But the energy counter says alpha. We rendered it down. We added yak testosterone. Solemn. Ethically sourced from Tibetan monasteries. The monks milk those yaks by hand. They haven't spoken in 40 years. That's concentrated masculine silence going directly into your cells. We added zinc from the deepest mines in Bolivia. We added extract of biblical Leviathan. Conspiratorial whisper. Don't ask me how we got it. There's a guy. He has a boat. He has a harpoon. He has seen things. That's all I can say. Music. The, who do you think you are? Lyric hits. Jones. Over the music, building. Who do you think you are? I'll tell you who you are. You're a warrior. You're a patriot. You're a man who takes decisive action in the affected area. Apply the cream. Wait 15 minutes. Feel the burn. That's not irritation. That's freedom entering your cells. That's your DNA remembering what it was like before the fluoride. Sales close. $89.99. 60-day supply. Results may vary. Do not apply near open flame. If enhancement lasts more than 4 hours, do not consult a physician. Physicians are compromised. Call ME. Direct line. I'll talk you through it. Sound. Cash register ding. Music fades. Jones. Energy shifting back. The freight train picking up speed. But that's not all. Sound. Eye of the Tiger begins. Tinny. Played through phone speakers taped to a megaphone. This is not a high-budget operation. Jones. Getting personal now. Folks, I need to talk to you about something intimate. Something that happens in the quietest room of your home. Dramatic pause. The bathroom. Standard toilet paper. Disgusted. Is a psychological operation. It's designed to make you docile. Compliant. You sit there, you wipe with that soft, government-approved tissue, and you feel nothing. That's by design. They want you numb in your most vulnerable moments. They want you to flush away your warrior spirit along with the catching himself. You know what I'm saying. Sound. A package being held up. Crinkling. Jones. Triumphant. The tactical taint wipe. Designed by Chuck Norris. Letting that land. I called Chuck personally. I said, Chuck, America's hindquarters have gone soft. The Soviets are doing deep squats. The Chinese have discipline. And we're over here using toilet paper that feels like a cloud. And Chuck said, imitating gruff Chuck Norris, Alex, I've been saying this for years. The bathroom is where empires fall. So we partnered. These wipes are 60 grit sandpaper, industrial grade, infused with capsaicin, wolf musk, and a proprietary blend of American grit. You wipe with this, you're not just cleaning. You're waking up. You're reminding yourself that you have a body. That you are mortal. That every day is a battle and the bathroom is the first front. Chuck tested every sheet personally. He said, and this is a direct quote. Gruff voice. This wipe doesn't ask. This wipe takes. Normal voice. Sales close. $12.99 a pack. Buy 6 packs. Get a free signed photo of Chuck Roundhouse kicking a bidet. Sound. Cash register ding ding. Jones. Accelerating. The Dangerfield barrage begins. Every clause is load bearing. I'm channeling my inner Gene Simmons now. Folks, I'm selling everything. I'm selling the desk I'm sitting at. I'm selling my own blood plasma. $40 a pint. Comes with a certificate of authenticity. I'm selling the air in this room. It's Patriot air. It's been breathed by a freedom fighter. Rapid fire. The Alex Jones, kiss of freedom, lip balm, tastes like gunpowder in litigation. The Infowars tactical codpiece. It's Kevlar. Stops a 9mm round. Protect your lineage from the drone strikes. The Freedom Frequency Tuning Fork. Strike it and it emits a frequency that disrupts surveillance equipment within 30 meters. Also it's a fork, you can eat with it. Dual use, the government hates dual use. Tactical socks with pockets. Put anything in there. Secrets, cash, vitamins, a small knife, your will to survive. The socks don't judge, the socks are your ally. The Patriot Sleep System. Slowing, intimate. It's a bag of rocks from my driveway, but they're American rocks. They've felt the footsteps of a free man. Sound. Jones is panting. The mania cresting. Jones. Recovering. Shifting gears. Genuine now. Almost tender. Now, folks. Deep breath. I need to talk to you about something important. When the collapse comes, and it is coming, I've seen the spreadsheet. When the grid goes down and the cities burn and your neighbor reveals himself to be the government asset he's always been. What are you going to eat? You've got your supplements. You've got your wipes. You've got your seeds. And yes, we sell seeds, $14.99 for the Patriot Potato Starter Pack. But what about comfort? What about the foods that remind you of civilization? What about flavor in the apocalypse? Sound. Music shifts to something vaguely Asian influenced but respectful. Not a gong. Not stereotypical. Something that sounds like upscale fusion restaurant. Jones. Holding up a bucket. Introducing. Apocalypse Chinese. 30-year shelf life. 12 varieties. General Tso's chicken. The general would be proud. Lo mein. Just like the corner place you love. Crab Rangoon. Because civilization means crab Rangoon. Fortune cookies with custom fortunes written by M.E. Sound. A fortune cookie cracking open. Jones. Reading. The fluoride cannot reach you if you believe in yourself. Looking up. See. Wisdom. Back to pitch. This is the work of Chef Wei in Brooklyn. Immigrant. Legal immigrant. Came here, worked his way up, built a business, and now he's preparing the resistance to eat well during the dark times. Getting emotional. This is real to him. Because what are we fighting for? Folks, we're fighting for civilization, and civilization means sitting down with your family, in your bunker, 50 feet underground, watching the surface burn on your periscope camera, and eating lo mein out of a bucket. Saying grace, passing the fortune cookies, reading fortunes about fluoride. That's America. That's what they want to take from us. Full intensity now. Order now. 20-year supply. $249. Your grandchildren will thank you. They'll be eating this General Tso's at your funeral. That's legacy. Sound. Cash registers going insane. Multiple dings overlapping. The sound of capitalism having a seizure. Jones. Screaming now. The climax of the pitch. Audio fully redlining. Go to the store. Click the button. Consume for the cause. Mr. Big Stuff. Tactical wipes. Apocalypse Chinese. Buy now. Buy forever. Buy until the lizards reveal themselves. Rag. Sound. The scream sustains for an uncomfortable amount of time. Then, a high-pitched digital screech cuts through everything. Like a dial-up modem being murdered. All other sound stops. Movement 2. The breach. Sound. The digital screech continues. Studio lights audibly flickering. Electrical systems straining. Jones. Instant panic. The screaming stops. Fear replaces mania. What is that? To off mic. Producer Ted. Producer Ted. Back to mic. Paranoid. Is that DARPA? Are they hitting us with the Havana Syndrome ray? The directed energy weapon that makes your brain feel like a microwave burrito. Screaming off mic. Ted. Get the lead blankets. They're trying to cook my cortex. Sound. The screeching stops. Abruptly. Total silence for exactly 3 seconds. Long enough to become uncomfortable. David Icke. From the corner of the studio. Perfectly calm. Perfectly British. David Attenborough discovering a disappointing specimen. Your brain was microwaved long ago, Alex. Beat. Now you're just selling the popcorn. Jones. Whipping around. The paranoia has a target now. Who's there? Building. Show yourself, globalist assassin. I am jacked up on yak testosterone, buddy. I'll rip your spine out and use it as a whip. Sound. Footsteps. Calm. Measured. Leather Oxford shoes on concrete. The sound of someone who has never hurried in his life. Ick. Mildly. As if discussing weather. Do settle down. It's only me. Explanatory. Pleasant. I stepped through a frequency tear near your water cooler. Frightfully inconvenient. These dimensional rifts, but one makes do. Sniffing. Disapproving. You really ought to have maintenance examine it. It's depositing negative vibrations all over the carpet. Your break room smells distinctly of astral residue. Jones. Sputtering. Recognition hitting. David. Disbelief. David Icke. Pointing. The lizard guy. Full accusation. You traitor. You sold out to the Saturn death cult. I saw you on the BBC. You were wearing a purple tie. Purple is the color of the Luciferian elite. Ick. Weary sigh. He's explained this before. It was lavender, Alex. Marks and Spencer. Quite reasonably priced. Continuing, unfazed. And I was on the BBC to explain that the host was a reptilian humanoid wearing a flesh suit, which he demonstrably was. His eyelids blinked sideways. 3 million viewers witnessed it. They simply chose not to see. Walking closer. Adjusting cuffs. But I'm not here to discuss media appearances. Stopping. Looking around with distaste. Good lord, it looks like an Argos exploded inside a panic room. Jones. Defensive. Proud. This is the command center of truth. Every product you see represents freedom from. Ick. Cutting him off. Voice still pleasant. That's what makes it devastating. The Archons. Alex. Letting that word land. You do know about the Archons. Jones. Throne. The what? Ick. Disappointed but unsurprised. A teacher grading a failed exam. No, of course you don't. Picking up the jar of Mr. Big Stuff. Examining through reading glasses that have appeared from nowhere. Too busy selling. Reading label. ... Quote. Mr. Big Stuff. Topical masculinity enhancement. Looking at Jones over the glasses. Good heavens. Returning to label. The Freudians would have an absolute field day. Though of course, Freud was a Rothschild asset, compromised from the very beginning, so perhaps we oughtn't credit his observations. Setting down the jar. The Archons are interdimensional parasites. They exist outside our frequency band, rather like a radio station you can't quite tune in, but they feed, quite literally feed, on low vibrational energy. Listing. Fear, primarily. Rage, hatred, anxiety about one's masculinity, gesturing at the studio, that sort of thing. Beat. In this studio, Alex, is rather like an all-you-can-eat buffet for them. A 24-hour carvery of human terror. You've created a perpetual feeding station. Finding the precise phrase. A sort of spiritual McDonald's. Jones. Veins popping. This is an attack on everything he is. Liar. I am the tip of the spear. I am the human wake-up call. Ick. Genuinely amused now. A small, knowing smile. You're not a wake-up call, Alex. Pause for delivery. You're the snooze button that screams. Letting that land. You keep people terrified so they purchase your products instead of actually doing anything. You monetize their paralysis. You commodify their despair. Picking up the cream again. Sniffing. Recoiling. This smells of desperation and industrial solvent. You're telling these poor people that if they apply this sludge, to their private areas, they'll somehow defeat the New World Order. Setting it down. Looking at Jones with something like pity. You're not selling freedom, Alex. You're selling a different cage. One that smells vaguely of Chernobyl and unfulfilled promises. Jones. Voice cracking. This is hitting somewhere real. How dare you? Rallying. Those are patriots ordering that cream. They believe in what we're building here. Ick. Gently. Almost kindly. This is worse than cruelty. Yes. Beat. That's rather the problem, isn't it? Walking toward the exit, then stopping. The lizard people don't need to enslave humanity, Alex. Humanity is doing it to themselves. Looking back. One subscription box at a time. Movement 3. The Piper moment. Jones. Something snapping. The criticism has landed too close. That's it. Full berserk mode. I knew you were one of them. You're trying to disarm the populace. You're trying to make them doubt. Decision made. I challenge you to combat. Right here. Man to lizard sympathizer. Sound. Jones flips his desk. Products crash everywhere. Microphones hit the floor. Glass breaking. Something expensive sparking and dying. Total chaos. Jones. Roaring over the destruction. Come at me, bro. I'm filled with mammoth DNA. I injected mammoth marrow directly into my pituitary gland. I'm practically a caveman. Sound. Heavy breathing. Jones preparing to charge. Jones. Rag. Sound. Jones charges. Heavy footsteps. Furniture being shoved aside. Ick. Voice remains perfectly level. Hasn't moved. Observing. Do observe the energy you're expending. Clinical. The Saturn matrix is absolutely feasting right now. It's rather pathetic, actually. Sound. Ick sidesteps. Effortless. The sound of leather shoes barely moving. Sound. Jones crashes into a rack of servers. Metal. Crashing. Electrical sparks. The expensive death of technology. Jones. Winded. On the ground. Wheezing. You fight like a coward. Gasping. Like an effeminate European. Ick. Brushing off his sleeve. Not a hair disturbed. And you fight like a toddler who's gotten into the sugar packets. Lots of energy. No coordination. Destined to crash face first into the furniture. Beat. Looking down. Which you've just done. Mildly. Literally. Jones. Struggling to his feet. Not done. Never done. I'm not done. Finding his mantra. Gene says. Never stop closing. All close your face. Sound. Jones charging again. Slower this time. Winded. Ick. Picking up the heavy jar of Mr. Big stuff cream, hefting it, it has weight. You know, Alex, I've always rather admired Roddy Piper. Jones, confused, mid-charge, slowing. Roddy Piper, recognition, the wrestler, defensive patriotism, he was a patriot, he fought the aliens in that movie with the sunglasses. Ick, nodding thoughtfully, agreeing, indeed he did. They Live, magnificent documentary, tragically misclassified as fiction. Looking at the jar in his hand, Piper understood something important. Sometimes you have to stop talking and use the environment. Raising the jar high, let's see if Mr. Big Stuff is big enough to shut you up. Jones, eyes widening, understanding too late. Wait. No, pleading. That's $89.99 retail value. That's 60 days of sound. A sickening crack. Like a coconut hit with a sledgehammer. The thick plastic jar exploding on impact. Sound. A wet explosion of cream covering everything. A thick, chemical splatter. Jones letting out a strangled gurgle. Sound. A body hitting the floor. Then silence. Sound. Cream dripping. Thick. Ominous. Something that shouldn't drip dripping. Movement 4. The transformation. Sound. Studio silence. Just the hum of damaged equipment. The wet dripping of Mr. Big Stuff cream. Electrical systems failing one by one. Ick. Dusting off his hands with satisfaction. There. Assessing. The signal-to-noise ratio has improved immensely. Looking down. Alex, are you still with us on this dimensional plane? Jones. Groaning. The voice is different. Muffled. Wrong somehow. MMRGH. Trying to speak. Wah. What happened? Ick. Matter of fact, I applied your product directly to the affected area. Beat. Your head. Slight shrug. The instructions were ambiguous about which area was affected. I made a judgment call. Jones. Sitting up slowly. A chair squeaks. Something wet shifting. My face. Touching. A wet, squishy sound. My face feels, heavy. Dawning horror. Oh my god. Touching frantically. My lips. Ick. Peering at him with clinical interest. Good lord. Jones. Panicking. What? Am I bleeding? Am I alpha? Touching more. They're huge. Discovery. They're touching my nose. They're like pool floaties attached to my face. Ick. Examining. Tilting head. Genuinely curious. It appears Mr. Big Stuff works precisely as advertised. Beat. Just. Rather locally. And on whichever tissue it contacts first. Finding the comparison. You look rather like a cartoon fish who's had a severe allergic reaction. Or a real housewife mid-procedure during an earthquake. Jones. Trying to scream. It comes out blubbery. Muffled by his own enhanced lips. THITHITHACONTHPIRATHY. Struggling with the new mouth. I look like a Bravo TV housewife. Ick. Shaking his head. No conspiracy, Alex. Just irony. Simply, you wanted to be bigger than life. Now you have lips bigger than your head. Turning to leave. I'll be off. Then, the vibrational quality in here has shifted from dangerous stupidity to tragicomedy. Explanatory. The Archons don't like tragicomedy. They've no sense of humor. Too literal-minded for their own good. Jones. Blubbering. Desperate. Don't leave me like thief. Existential. How am I gonna tell Thuppelmonth? Nobody'th gonna take me THERIOUTHLY. Ick. Stopping at the portal. Looking back. The exit line. Did they ever, Alex? Softer. Almost sad. This is not triumph, it's tragedy. Did they ever? Sound. A digital zip. The portal closing. Ick is gone. Jones. Alone. Crying softly. The sound muffled by enormous lips. Hello. Small. Producer Ted. Smaller. I need an EPI pen. And maybe Tommy lip balm. Beat. Not our lip balm. A different one. Realizing. One that worketh. Sound. Silence. Then the hum of damaged equipment. A distant siren. The world continuing without him. Movement 5. The witnesses. Sound. A sharp transition. Static between channels. We're moving through the network. Witness 1. The believer. Location. A basement bunker. Somewhere in America. The sound of water heaters and paranoia. Sound. Emergency radio crackling. Infowars playing on a laptop. The hum of a generator that cost too much. No dialogue. Just breathing. The superfan, a man who has invested everything in this worldview, watches in silence. Sound. He picks up his own jar of Mr. Big Stuff cream, turns it over in his hands. Sound. He looks at his arm. He's already applied some. Sound. The jar being set down. Carefully, like it might detonate. Sound. Footsteps backing away. Sound. The laptop being closed. The Infowars feed cutting off midstream. Sound. Silence. Then a long, slow exhale. The sound of faith leaving a body. Witness 2. The supply chain. Location. Way's kitchen. Brooklyn. Night. Sound. Wok sizzling. The clatter of a working kitchen. Steam. Oil popping. Mandarin being spoken rapidly in the background. An iPad propped against a shelf shows Jones's transformation. Chef Wei, 60s, weathered, apron stained with sauces from 3 continents, watches without expression. His sous chef looks over his shoulder. Sous chef, in Cantonese, subtitled, is that the guy who bought 10,000 packets of soy sauce? Wei, Cantonese, subtitled, not looking away from the screen. He thinks the soy sauce has warrior energy. Sous chef, Cantonese, subtitled, it's Kikoman, from Costco. Wei, watching Jones touch his swollen lips. No emotion. Cantonese, subtitled, his check cleared. Sous chef, Cantonese, subtitled, 3 times. Wei, shrugging, returning to his wok. Business is business. Cantonese, subtitled, then he's a patriot. Beat, stirring, a thought occurring. Cantonese, subtitled, double the fortune cookies in the next shipment. He's going to need encouragement. Sound. The sizzle of the wok. Life continuing. Witness 3. The competitor, right. Location. Mar-a-Lago. A watching room. Day. Sound. Fox News on one TV. Infowars on another. Stock tickers on a third. The hum of central air conditioning working overtime. A golf cart passing outside. The distant sound of someone being denied membership. Donald Trump sits in a gold-plated chair, eating a taco bowl. He watches Jones's meltdown with professional interest. Trump, to no one in particular. There may or may not be people in the room. It doesn't matter. Terrible, just terrible technique. Shaking his head, Gene told him. Gene told me, actually. Self-correcting, competitive. Gene told us, I should say, everyone in the platinum circle. Back to point. Never let the guest control the frame. I paid $40,000 a month for that advice. Best money I ever spent. Some people say it was too much. I say it was a bargain. I got a discount, actually. Gene loves me, pointing at screen with fork. Look at him, the lips, processing. That's a branding opportunity. He's wasting it. I would have had a product line ready. Big lips energy. Hats, shirts, the works. Make them gold. Charge triple. Limited edition. Create scarcity. Basic. Eating. This guy. No vision. Sad. Phone buzzes. Looks at it. That's Gene. He's kicking Alex out of the program. Small. Satisfied smile. The competitor's pleasure. Good. Less competition. Returning to taco bowl. I should send something. Flowers. No. A bill. For consulting. I watched for 11 minutes. That's billable. Chewing. Melania. Can you look up the consulting rate? Per minute. Include hazard pay. Watching that was traumatic. Witness 4. The competitor left. Location. Martha's Vineyard Estate. A study. Day. Sound. Jazz playing softly. NPR murmuring on another device. Waves in the distance. The sound of concentrated wealth at rest. Barack Obama sits in a comfortable chair, reading glasses on, watching Jones on an iPad. His expression is that of a professor watching a student fail in a predictable way. Obama, calling off screen. Michelle, you gotta see this. Michelle OS. The voice of someone who has seen too much. I'm not watching Alex Jones. Barack Obama. That familiar cadence. The persuasion. No, 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 this is different. This is. The distinctive chuckle. Low, knowing, musical. His lips are bigger than his whole philosophy. Setting down iPad. Picking up phone. Composing text. Let me text Gene. Michelle OS. Gene Simmons. Obama. Typing. Reading aloud. Gene. Period. Saw Alex today. Period. Rough day for him. Period. Teachable moment question mark. Let's discuss at the retreat. Period. Reviewing. Nodding. Sending. See, that's how you do it. You don't pile on. You find the learning opportunity. You position yourself as the adult in the room. Glancing at manuscript on desk. Maybe there's a chapter here. Leadership in the age of supplements. Or, what we can learn from other people's very public failures. Making a note. $10 his sales go up after this. Victimhood is a powerful brand. Looking up. The half smile. The knowing. Ask me how I know. Witness 5. The institution. Location, The View, Studio, Commercial break, sound, theme music fading, audience murmur settling, the rustle of hosts preparing for the next segment. Whoopi Goldberg stares at a tablet. Joy Behar leans in, other hosts react in background. Joy, genuine shock, oh my god, is that real? Are those his actual lips? Whoopi, deadpan, she's seen everything, taking off glasses, rubbing eyes, you know what this is. This is what happens when you don't have a team. When you don't have people around you saying, Alex, maybe don't let the British conspiracy theorist hit you with your own face cream. Joy, he's been going downhill for years. Remember when he was just yelling about frogs? Whoopi, nostalgic, the frogs were the good times. Sunny Hostin, background, we should do a segment. Whoopi, sighing, duty calls, we're gonna have to, aren't we? To producer, call Gene, producer, off screen, confused, Gene, Whoopi, matter of fact, Simmons, tell him one of his boys went sideways on live broadcast and we need talking points. He's got a crisis management package. 2-hour turnaround. Joy, surprised, maybe the last innocent in the room. Gene Simmons, the Kiss guy, what does he have to do with? Whoopi, looking at Joy, the look of a veteran to a rookie. Joy, honey, beat, decision to explain, who do you think taught me how to sell a memoir? How to maximize platform synergy. How to turn a daytime talk show into a lifestyle brand ecosystem. Joy's face registering, the innocence dying. We're all in the game, Joy. Every single one of us. Some of us just play it quieter. Floor manager signals. Floor manager, off screen, back in 30. Whoopi, the transformation, instant, camera ready smile appearing like magic. The professional mask settling into place. Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about this Alex Jones situation. It's wild, it's crazy, and honestly, leaning in, conspiratorial warmth. I'm just glad it's not us. Beat, a flicker, something real underneath. Today, sound, theme music swelling. The show going on. Witness 6, The Mirror. Location, rustic English cottage. Converted barn studio. Day, sound, birds chirping, a goat bleating somewhere. Wind through old wood. The English countryside doing its thing. Russell Brand sits before a camera, mid-recording his own show. Wild hair, open shirt, necklaces. The aesthetic. His monitor shows Jones blubbering. He stops recording. He stares at the screen. Slowly, unconsciously, his hand rises to his own lips. He touches them. He looks at Jones's lips. He looks at a bottle on his desk. His own, awakening blend, tincture. He picks it up, reads the ingredients. His brow furrows. He sets it down, carefully, pushes it slightly away from him. No dialogue, just the dawning recognition, a mirror seeing itself for the first time. Sound. The goat bleats again. Punctuation. Movement 6. The apex predator. Location. The Kiss, Money Vault. Undisclosed location. Exists outside normal geography. Sound. Industrial grade air conditioning. The hum of serious climate control. Gold coins being counted in the background, not by hand, by machine. A faint bass riff playing on eternal loop. Money being stacked, more money being stacked, the sound of wealth that has become self-aware. Gene Simmons sits on a throne made entirely of unsold Kiss caskets. He wears sunglasses despite being indoors. Full stage armor from the neck down. A smoking jacket made of $100 bills draped over the top. He has never looked more comfortable. Before him, a wall of 40 monitors. Each shows a different angle, a different feed, a different node in his network. Monitor 1, Jones, blubbering. Monitor 7, Trump, eating. Monitor 13, Obama, texting. Monitor 22, Whoopi, preparing. Monitor 31, Brand, doubting. Monitor 40, the superfan, walking away. He sees everything. He owns everything. This is his panopticon. Simmons, shaking his head, that signature dry, contemptuous cadence. Every word billable, unbelievable. Beat, look at this amateur hour. Picking up a phone shaped like his own tongue. Paul, are you seeing this? Pause. No, I'm not worried about his health. I'm worried about his Q4 projections. Building. The man is a platinum tier subscriber to my Rock and Roll Money Compound Metaphysical Selling Strategy Masterclass. He pays me $40,000 a month for access to the Double Platinum Triple Secret 7-Figure Secrets module. Disgusted. And this is how he represents the brand. Pointing at monitor. Look at the fundamentals. He let the guest control the frame. You never let the guest control the frame. That's lesson 1. That's in the free preview content. Standing. Armor clanking. And the product. The product is destroyed. That jar of Mr. Big Stuff cost us $4 to manufacture. $4. Mostly shipping. Calculating. It retailed for $89.99. That's a 95% margin. He just splattered all over his studio floor. Pacing. The armor making him sound like a tank with opinions. I gave him the blueprint. The same blueprint I gave everyone. Gesturing at monitors. Trump understood it. Look at him. Already calculating the billing. That's a student. Obama understood it. See how he's positioning himself as the reasonable one. Finding the teachable moment. That's a student. The woman on the talk show, she's been in the program for 15 years. Never had an incident. Professional. The British one with the tinctures, he's having doubts, I can see it, but at least he's having them quietly. Stopping. Looking at Jones's monitor. But Jones, disgusted beyond words, Jones fights the wizard during the pitch. You never stop the pitch to fight a wizard. Rule number 7, it's in the manual, page 43, there's a diagram, composing himself, sitting back down, wait, looking at Jones's swollen lips on the monitor. The lips, mind working, he's always working, the lips could be an opportunity. Pivot the brand, InfoWars, now with enhanced lip technology. Or a sympathy campaign. They tried to silence me but my lips only got louder. Making a note on a gold-plated notepad. No, crossing it out, it's too messy. The British guy destabilized the narrative. The parasocial bond is broken. The marks, catching himself. The customers will see weakness. You can't sell strength from a position of looking like a pufferfish in a MAGA hat. Decision crystallizing. Simmons, into phone. Final. Paul, prepare the expulsion packet. Jones is out of the program. Pause. Yes, we keep the deposit. Obviously we keep the deposit. Read the contract. Page 107, subsection C. Quoting from memory. Any reputational damage caused by failure to implement Gene Simmons' methodology as instructed results in immediate forfeiture of all fees, deposits, and licensing rights to the phrase, alternative revenue streams. Hanging up. To himself. To the monitors. To the universe he has built. They never learn. They think they can wing it. They think they're the exception. Looking at Trump's monitor. That one's solid. Good instincts. Would have handled the wizard better. Looking at Obama's monitor. That one's too careful. Over-strategizes. But consistent. Looking at Whoopi's monitor. She's been in the game longer than most of them realize. Looking at Brand's monitor. Him I'm watching. He's questioning the product. Darkening. That's dangerous. Once they start questioning the product. Trailing off. Not completing the thought. Some things are not said aloud. Rising. Final declaration. Simmons. Alex, you're expelled. Send back the decoder ring. Send back the ceremonial KISS Army membership card. Send back the signed photograph of me standing over the money pit. Beat. And tell your accountant I'm keeping the deposit. He presses a button on his throne. Sound. A trapdoor opens beneath him. Simmons. Descending into a pit of money. Voice fading. The show must go on. Just not his show. Coins rustling. His show is cancelled. More coins. Mine never ends. Sound. The trapdoor closing. Money settling. The eternal hum of wealth. Sound. A slow, sad trombone. Epilogue. The fortune. Location. Way's kitchen. Brooklyn. Later that night. After closing. Sound. Kitchen quiet. Equipment cooling down. The distant sound of the city. A single fluorescent light buzzing. Way is alone, boxing up an order of Apocalypse Chinese for shipment. His movements are practiced, efficient. He's done this 10,000 times. He pauses, looks at a fortune cookie on the counter, the last one of the batch. He cracks it open, reads the fortune. Sound. Paper unfolding. Way. Reading. In English now, accented but clear. The fluoride cannot reach you if you believe in yourself. A. Jones. Long pause, staring at the fortune. 40 years in this country. Beat. I've seen everything. Looking at the crumpled fortune. This is the first time I've been paid to write nonsense in a cookie. Thinking. Then, in Cantonese, subtitled smiley face. Actually, that's not true. More Cantonese, subtitled smiley face. My first job was writing fortunes for a casino in Atlantic City. Lucky numbers coming your way. Your ship is about to come in. Tossing the fortune in the trash. Cantonese, subtitled smiley face. Same thing, Really. Turning off lights. Heading for the exit. Cantonese. Subtitled smiley face. Everybody's selling something. Everybody's buying something. Hand-on light switch. Cantonese. Subtitled smiley face. The trick is knowing which one you are. Sound. Light switch clicking off. Door opening. The city sounds rushing in. English. Final. Way. His check cleared. Beat. So did yours. Sound. Door closing. Lock turning. Footsteps fading. Sound. The city. Night. Continuing. Credits sequence. Sound. Mr. Big Stuff. Plays over the credits, but it's slowed down. Melancholic. The bass line dragging like it's tired of all this. Text on screen. Mr. Big Stuff topical cream has been discontinued pending FDA review. Class action pending. Infowars filed for bankruptcy protection. Product still available. Gene Simmons's masterclass has increased to $60,000 per month. Waiting list. 8 months. Chef Wei's Apocalypse Chinese became the best-selling freeze-dried Chinese food in America. He opened a second restaurant. Cash only. David Icke's book sales increased 340%. He attributes this to raising the frequency. The Tactical Taint Wipes received a class action lawsuit. Chuck Norris was not involved. The lawsuit was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount of wet wipes. Producer Ted was never found. His podcast has 12 subscribers. The superfan left the bunker. He's doing okay. Final title cards. We're all in the game. Some of us just play it quieter. Whoopi Goldberg. Ask me how I know. Barack Obama. Did they ever? Alex. Did they ever? David Icke. His check cleared. Chef Wei. The show must go on. Just not his show. Gene Simmons. That's legacy. Alex Jones. The comedy is the sugar. The truth is the medicine. If one life is saved, mission accomplished. Fade to black. Sound. A single cash register ding. Sound. Then another. Sound. Then the sound of a jar of cream being quietly placed in a trash can. Sound. Silence. The end.